Hello, most lovely viewers. Thank you very much for your time. This is the page here on GBC News. This is where we do chit-chat, and this is where we get those who matter when it comes to sports development in this country. And today, the chapter is on squash. Yes, it's been a while since we talked about squash, but today we are putting our lenses on squash. What really is happening in the arena of squash? All squash fans out there, I salute you for the good work you're doing, especially those at Burma Camp that I remember. I salute you and wish you guys all the best. Today I've been joined by the president of the Squash Association of Ghana, or Ghana Squash Association, Reverend Richmond Quarcoo, in the house. So good to have you. It's been a while.
Yes, it's been a while now.
And let me say congratulations. I hear you've been elevated. You've gotten some appointments. Share the excitement with us.
Well, thank you for having me, and good morning to your viewers. Yes, I've been elected as the Secretary General for African Squash.
Wow.
So now not only Ghana, but we are also helping in the administration of squash in the whole of Africa.
Great.
Yeah.
Then this means more pressure.
Well, we've given ourselves to the development of sport, so we are ready for the task.
Now, let's come back home and look at the sports itself. Would you be fair to the school of thought that says that squash is for the elite and the bourgeoisie in society?
No, I would disagree a bit if people say that squash is for the elite. Over the period of time, we've had few challenges. I mean, squash has been in existence in this country for close to 40 or even more years. And I can go on and tell you people who have played squash in the past, including the current president of the Republic.
Oh.
Yes.
He's a squash player?
Yes, he used to play squash.
Wow.
So,
wow.
And I can go on and give you names, all right?
Wow.
So it's been in existence for quite a long time. Our challenge for the development of sport in this country is the courts. We didn't have enough courts back in the days, all right, for people to play the sport. But currently we have a lot of squash courts around that people can play. And it's a very good sport, you know. Squash is older than many of the sporting disciplines in this country.
So really, what is the main challenge? You just touched on, okay, we don't have enough courts around. Now we have enough. But the popularity, how to really match them with the rest of the sports that we know in this country. Some of them we even call them traditional sports, like hockey, like boxing, athletics here and there. So really, what is the main challenge? Because if indeed even our president has once upon a time played, and we know he's a sportsman already, you know, squash was part of the disciplines that he loved, then what really is the key thing, so that at least Ghanaians can appreciate and then we move forward?
Yes, in terms of sport development, you need that there are two main components, and you talk about popularity. So there's the developmental bit of sports, and then there's a promotional bit of sports. For some years now, the association was a bit dormant, so they were not doing a lot of promotional issues in terms of promoting the sport to make it popular for Ghanaians to know that we also are around. All right, but this time we have stepped up the promotional bit to promote the sport, and there are many courts around that we are encouraging people to go and play. For instance, in Accra, we have more than 8 to 9 courts in Accra.
Really? Okay, so viewers, on our screens are some highlights of some squash exhibition games going on. So for a first time, okay, watching, what are they doing? This is not tennis. Yeah,
this is not tennis. This is squash. All right. So if you look at the size of the racket, it's different from the tennis. Tennis racket is a bit bigger than the squash racket.
And it is not badminton too.
It's not badminton, and it's an indoor sport. All right. So if you're looking at what they are doing, they are playing against the wall. So there's a ball, I mean, similarly to the size of a lime. All right. A small black ball with some dotted, and then so they are hitting the ball against the wall.
So how do you win?
And there are basic rules. When you serve against the ball must touch the floor just once, and then you have to hit the ball. Just like we do in table tennis. It touches the floor only once, and then if it touches the floor twice, you lose a point. So and there are many technical rules that apply.
So for instance, the gentleman with the blue something on the head.
Yes, with the scarf.
The scarf. If it happens that he hits the ball to the wall, and the other gentleman doesn't...
It's not able to retain the ball at a bounce of just once, then he's lost a point.
Ooh.
All right, then he's lost the point. So at the bounce, you must return the ball to the wall. And there are many rules. For instance, if you look at service, for instance, if you serve, it must go above that red line up there.
Wow.
If you serve, it must go above the red line. If it comes below the red line, it's a fault. All right, so I've been in very, and we encourage people to.
So Reverend, why are we not seeing the schools really champion this? Why are you not seeing communities really do this?
One of our main agenda currently is the developmental, and we are going to launch our national developmental project at Achimota School, where there is a court.
Okay.
There are 2 glassback courts in Achimota that we are renovating. The National Association is renovating now. We're going to launch our national, developmental program there. And we are taking it to the rest of the nations, because there are many. If you go to Kumasi, if you go to University of Science and Technology, they have very good courts there, international standard courts on campus.
Wow. So and we are all quite.
Yes, that's why I'm saying that the federation in the past, they were a bit relaxed in terms of promotion. Okay. But now we've changed the strategy, and that's our main agenda, to promote the sport and to develop the sport. So we're going to Achimota to launch the youth developmental project. We're going to Kumasi. Tech has a court. It's 2B and Second Garrison has a court. If you go to Takrady, there are courts, Air Force Base. In fact, Friday, which is tomorrow, they are reopening the Air Force Officers Mess Court here in Accra.
Wow.
All right, so we invite all of you to be there and see and enjoy the game and see how you can help us to also promote the sport, because this is a very good sport that we're encouraging young people to get into. Fortunately, squash is now part of the Commonwealth Games. So next year, squash will be featuring, our national team will be featuring as part of the teams that are traveling to Birmingham for the.
We need to get more time to talk about this, because this is really eye-opening.
Yeah.
Now, the video we watched was only males. Is this sport gender balanced?
Yes, gender, but we also have female who play. We have young girls who are learning how to play. But like I told you, the developmental agenda has not been too strong in the past. Now we've taken it up. If you go to Kumasi, they recently had a clinic, a youth clinic, where they have a lot of young girls who are in Accra. We have it. In Legon, we have girls there who are playing. What we are trying to do is to get all the schools that are closer to the court and start a program with them, so we can get a lot of young people who are coming into the sport.
Reverend, with all these, I know everybody talks about finances here and there. There's cash straps, some people somewhere, but for, let's say, organizing an event, for instance, how much does this take to organize a squash tournament or event?
Yeah, it depends on the kind of event you want to organize. If it's just a tournament you're organizing, depends on the number of athletes who are coming, and depends on where you're organizing the tournament as well. So we have a national open, we have masters, we have club championships, and we have all that. So it depends on the kind of championship or tournament you want to organize. And that's why we appeal to corporate organizations and individuals, even old players. We've got a lot of prominent people in this country who once played squash. We're calling on all of them and stakeholders to support us to promote and develop sports.
So before I let you go, because time runs fast, I just want to know, Ghana Squash Association, currently we are in this digital world. Where do we locate you aside coming to your physical office? On social media, are you present there in terms of your website, in terms of your YouTube, your WhatsApp page, your Twitter handles?
Yes, we are very active on Facebook, very active on social media. Just if you type Ghana Squash Association, you'll find us and you find our activities and programs there. There's a lineup of activity that you can find there and follow us. Recently, we launched revamping all the old courts. So we've been going around Ghana and there are very old courts that we didn't even know that they existed until we started the search.
Wow.
If you go to Barclays Bank, we never knew that Barclays Bank had this old squash court just on Accra High Street.
Wow.
So we are now going to revamp and to renovate all those old courts, bring them back to life, and get people in there to play, because we have great talents in this country. We have great talents in this country. We have to help develop them.
So currently, with the National Sports Authority and the way they run their things, the ministry, the new Minister for Youth and Sports, have you by chance as executives really tabled all these plans, beautiful plans you have to really revive this sports, this old sports that we have? Have you by chance got in touch with them? Are they aware of your activities? And looking at the fact that if indeed we will be ready, we'll go for the Commonwealth Games, have you guys started discussions? Or?
Sure, we've started a lot of discussions with the National Sports Authority. We're every year to go and see the minister, because a new minister who is in place. We have a meeting with him to let him know our activities and our plans in development of this, because we are part of the national sports disciplines. I mean, the National Youth Development Project that will be happening in Achimota. We're inviting the Director General of National Sports Authority to see the kind of talents we have and how far they can also support us in pushing that agenda to develop the sports. How for squash being part of the Commonwealth Games, not only Commonwealth Games, but the World Games, squash is part of it. The Asian Games, the Euro Games, squash is part of all those huge platforms that people demonstrate their talent. So
you feel that we have talent?
Sure, we have brilliant. You should come see one of our competitions. You should come see them. I invite you tomorrow to come to the Air Force mess to come see talents. I mean, people who are there are people who play for fun, people who play just for fitness, and there are young people who are playing competitively. We have all those category of players. So just pass by one of these days and come have a look at the players.
Let's have fun. And so if you're out there and really you love squash, try and get them on social media, try and follow them up, and then let's do the hashtag. Let's try and then push this sport, because it's a beautiful sport. The last time I saw them and I saw grandpapas playing, I was saying, what kind of sport is this? And they are very, very enthusiastic, energetic, and they are playing. And I say, hey, I'm going to share money. So, Reverend, before you check out from the studio, if somebody out there listening to you for the first time wants to really learn how to play squash, where does he come to, and what can he do to?
So if anybody wants to play squash, he can walk to any of the courts. There are dedicated coaches, on all the courts. So Burma Camp, there's a court there. Air Force Mess. There's a squash court, the Tesano Sports Club. There's a Gold House. There's a squash court. If you go to Jowulu here, we have a squash court there. Achimota School, there's a squash court there. And there are many squash courts spread. If you go to Tema, they have 2 squash courts there. You can go there, and there are dedicated coaches there and players who will help you to just learn. It's not difficult to play. Just that it's a more of an active sport, more of cardiovascular and endurance sport. And research has shown that squash is the most strenuous racket game. If you compare all the racket games, squash is the most strenuous.
You don't mean it?
Yes, I tell you.
With this small...
Yeah. I mean...
More strenuous than tennis?
That's why if you go... If in playing squash, most players do not even are keen to doing warm-up, because 5 minutes into the game, your whole system is on fire.
You mean...
I'm telling you. You should come try one of these days. It's not a sport you can joke with. I mean, very interesting sport.
Wow. Reverend, thank you very much for your time. And before I check out from the studio with you, I know I'm coming to talk about it. This new elevation, what are we to expect from you and your team that will be leading in terms of the Africa development? Really, what are some of the immediate things that we should be expecting with you as our own there?
Yes, you should expect good administration. I mean, for us in Ghana, the advantage is that now the development of squash in the whole of Africa will start from here. So if the World Federation has any plan, any resources, any help or assistance given to all the African countries, it's going to start from here. All right. So we as a country stand to benefit in developing our own, and then we spread it to other parts, of the world. The second thing you should expect is good administration. I mean, some of us have been athletes, trainers, coaches before we start sports administration. Fortunately, we facilitate and lecture even in sports, so we know what to do, the right knobs to press in making sure that Africa or Ghana is benefiting first of all, and then secondly, Africa as a whole is also helping. We are not only looking at just the promotion of the sport, but how do we develop talents within Africa? Young people who can play. It's not everybody who can play football. It's not everybody who can play table tennis. It's not everybody who can swim. There are people who prefer other sports, and we have to encourage all of them in making sure that they also develop their talents.
Thank you very much. So that's Mr. Richmond, or Reverend Richmond Quarcoo. He is the new president or the board chairman. What's the right?
President of Ghana.
President, okay. President of Ghana Squash Association, and also on the African continent. He is the newly elected Secretary General. So the position is big. And so Reverend is here, and then he'll join us again another time for us to do more of chit-chatting. So if indeed all the disciplines are boring to you, please go and have a taste, a feel of squash, and then come and join us. Let's talk about and enlarging the squash community.